What up, everybody? It's another week of Sports and Layers. We had a lot of action for some summertime sports in late July. We got some training camp updates we want to go over, some new contract deals, NBA reaction to Dame Lillard. So I'll give the floor to TG and Rick to tee us off.
All right, so before the Dame Lillard, I want to say, TG, what's your reaction to Jaylen Brown finally getting his deal? We already, we talked about it on the pod prior, especially when that CBA came out, and it was like, if he could have got like 190 if he didn't make all NBA, and it went from him getting 190 to getting 300 in mil. So you're talking about like 113 difference. And he signed the first ever, $300 million contract. It's kind of wild when you start to, look at the landscape of what the league was, a few years ago. I think Mike Conley signed the deal like 2015 or something, or
it was like 153 or something like that.
Yeah, and that was the biggest contract. Now it's doubled.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yep. No, that's wild. I think that honestly, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like in anything, that's how things go. Like, the market goes up. These players are going to benefit from it, right? When you look at Jaylen Brown in particular, dude, he took a massive step this season, right? Like, what is he? 26. In his age 26 season in the league, what did he average this season? 26 and a half, right? And then and pretty good shooting percentages in the regular season. The only thing was it wasn't a great, his last season or his last
postseason.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But like that last round against the Heat specifically, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the postseason he did ball, but it was like that last round against the Heat, he did not ball at all. I think he averaged like 19. I think from three, he was shooting like under 20%. Like, he was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But like overall, he took a massive step. And when you look at his trajectory, like, I think the Celtics had to pay him that money. What do you guys think? Like, I think we had to pay him that.
Yeah. I mean, what was the alternative? I just think that like a lot of times, like a lot of people are looking at this cap space as like the boogeyman, like, oh my gosh, you can't, pay, you can't pay a player a certain amount. I seen a lot of talk like, oh, Jaylen Brown will probably be traded in, a couple of years. And they're just like, I don't think the Celtics have that idea in mind. And it's like, okay, you're going to trade him. And it's like, you're going to trade him for what? Because I feel though is that you let great talent leave. Tatum's not going to be sticking around. He's going to sit there and, probably explore his options. Like, you're going to trade him for pennies on a dollar. So I just think that you have to find your way to maneuver around with the CBA. That's why Brad goes and trades back 5 times in the draft on his Bill Belichick and gets, 6 second-round draft picks, because now it's like you got to hit on young, cheap talent, especially if you're going to be like, you're going to spend a lot, because you're going to have both players on a max, and then you're going to have Porzingis, making 30 million. So when you have a talent like that, you gotta, you have to pay him. Like, I don't understand the idea of, you just let him walk for what? And then like the contracts are going crazy, because like I'm still like mystified the fact that like the Grizzlies gave Bane $250 million.
But when I look at it, at the end of the day, like, not to like kind of move it to the NFL, but I'm like, why not? So the salary cap is what it is. It's not like you don't have the ability to pay your players. If you value the player, pay the player. Like, it's not like, the owner or whatever is like, losing anything. Like, it's the freaking salary cap. Just pay the players. Like, I feel like in the NFL, you can call it, they run like a tighter ship over there, like with their contracts and whatnot. But like, for me, I feel like a contract or money will never be a reason why, I lose a player. like the reason why like New England didn't get DeAndre Hopkins was like over $2 million. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is just like, give me a break. Just, sign the player. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really frustrating in the NBA. I mean, in the NFL. But like with the NBA, your favorite NBA team is going to be able to get your favorite player if they want to, like, but with the NFL, it's completely different.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with Jaylen Brown, um, uh, first of all, it's the NBA market, so dudes are just getting paid wild money. He, in terms of a caliber of a player, he is an upper echelon player. He deserves the bag. But me personally, I think he's overpaid considering the Game 7 performance. Like, if he had a valiant effort and it was like a down to the wire, because like to me, that was his best moment to shine. Jason Tatum sprains his ankle in the first, 2 minutes of the game. We all knew it was going to be on JB. What does he do? 8 for 23. That's less than 35% from the field. 1 from 9 from 3. Gets to only shoot 2 free throws. 8 turnovers. You're minus 19. Like, bro, why is this man getting 300 million? And personally, I'm like, the dude's overpaid. Now, I like that there's no trade clause, unfortunately. So to keep it real, if he doesn't step up in these big moments, that's a piece that's going to get moved. I hate to break it to y'all, but like, I do think there should be 3 to 5 more years keeping them together, and blah. They're still young. And dudes like LeBron and a lot of these other greats went until year 8 before they won, 8 and 9. But I just like, I don't know. Personally, like it smells like a deal that they're willing to trade, and something where they were just like, I'm using terms I think I heard on, what is it? First Things First, where it sounds like more of a marriage of convenience and a marriage of love. But I'm glad he got the bag. I'm glad he got paid. I just think that was a little too rich for my blood if I'm the Celtics. And while we're on the topic, I want y'all's thoughts on this. I know I'm coming with the West Coast kind of vibes today, but like, I heard people praising Brad Stevens as a GM, Stephen A. Smith. He's praising Brad Stevens. Oh, he's an excellent GM. Da, da, da. My eyes, it's like, what has he really done? Like, you inherited a championship team and you made 1 or 2 moves to not mess up the chemistry. Like, you added Brogdon last year, and you're adding Porzingis here when losing Smart. Like, I just think he's doing a good job, but like, you inherited a strong team. Like, let's not start acting like he's Jerry West. But
okay, all right. So
let me hear what y'all got to say.
All right. So this is what I'll say. I'll sit there and say though is that Jaylen Brown cannot be judged on a Game 7 performance where, yes, it gives you, bro. You can't just grade his whole contract just on one game.
The year before, he was our best player in the finals.
My whole thing was like, I just can't sit here and just say, oh my gosh, like, I can't have an overreaction to that. I can't have an overreaction to either or. I can't sit there and say, oh my gosh, oh, he had this, oh, he doesn't deserve, 300 million, when guys like LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Desmond Bain getting 250, and they haven't done nearly what he has done. So when I sit there and I look at him, like, I can't sit here and short him because, a Game 7 performance, like, that's not fair. But I will talk about the Brad Stevens thing. Is a lot of people are missing the fact that Al Horford wasn't on this team. He went and got Al Horford back and got rid of a contract and traded a first-round draft pick to get rid of Kemba. That wasn't a move where he brought them back to being a championship level team, because that team had, the year that he became GM or the president.
Yeah, what year was it?
That was after the 2020, that was the 2021 season. Okay. And that was that COVID season where that roster in the playoffs, let me read you who was starting in the playoffs. You had Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, I think, Evan Fournier.
I remember.
Brown was injured.
Yeah, Brown was injured. So you had him out there with a cast of bums, and we always joke, and I always joke with D. I'm like, Brad Stevens, the coach, would love Brad Stevens, the GM, because he wouldn't have him playing with trash. He wouldn't have, he wouldn't have him coaching trash. Like, he had to, like, Danny was just forcing all these terrible players on him. So he traded and got Al Horford back and traded Kemba Walker. He then was able to take Moses Brown and trade him to Dallas and got back Josh Richardson. Was able to, he signed Dennis Schroeder for cheap contracts, and then was able to package.
Dennis Schroeder played himself though. Like, I mean, come on.
But no,
definitely played himself.
he played himself. No, but then he took and was able to package Dennis Schroeder and some other parts and got Daniel Tice back. Then traded Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford picks, and brought Derek White in. Derek White is a big.
That's a strong move. That's a strong.
That was a fun.
I'm not saying he did bad. I just think he's good or really good, but not yet great. I need to see more before I'm gonna say he's a great GM. You gotta win
You gotta seal the deal.
Like, you inherited a championship level team.
The thing about Brad,
I don't think that they were the championship level team. They can't.
Didn't they come off the Eastern Conference Finals going out of?
No, they lost. They got gentlemen swept by the Nets.
So they got gentlemen swept by the Nets. The prior year, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they made it back. And then after gentlemen swept, they made it back. Made it to the finals after that?
Yes, but you can't discount the moves that Brad Stevens made. It's not, you can't sit there and say, oh, like I'm not going to give the Bucks GM credit for bringing Tom Brady when it's like the year prior, Jameis Winston went 30 for 30. And you don't want to ever go 30 for 30. So it's like, you got to give credit. Like, some players come in, bringing Al Horford to this team made a difference. You're a difference. You bring space, and you didn't have that on your team anymore. And then you're bringing Derek White, and we see what Derek White can do. So, I mean, those moves alone bring you from where they were teetering to a championship level team. Because I'm not sure they go to the finals if they don't have those players.
Again, I give him credit. He's done a good job.
What's the argument here?
Maybe. I'm just saying, like, I think Brad Stevens, I personally said JB's a bit overpaid. But I like the fact that there's no Rick kind of brought me back down to earth, like, relative to the market and other players, he's getting paid where he should be, which I recognize, but I don't think I want to pay a guy $300 million who just personally bummed it in the finals game or Eastern Conference Finals, minus 17, 8 turnovers. When you knew the spotlight was on him, that's not a $300 million man to me. But the fact that there's no, that player trade option, like the fact that there's no trade clause, makes it look like he's a movable piece if it doesn't work out in the next year or two, which is what I like about the deal, unfortunately. But that we said that, and that Brad Stevens, I think, is getting a little overhyped for being some GM guru, and I think he's just doing a good job so far, good to really good. But I don't think he's on a Jerry West level quite yet. That's what's kind of been said.
Who the hell said Jerry West? I mean, like, you got to look at the body of work. You can't look at one game in a vacuum and say, oh, he's not worth XYZ. He's been in 6 conference finals?
Yeah, it's crazy.
One finals. He's 26 years old. I mean,
yeah.
Because people might in 4 years, maybe less than that, look at this deal as, wow, damn, only $300 million. Like, is it, how, like, am I?
Yep.
Nah, you're right though. The way the NBA market is going, it's gonna be like $400 million.
Jalen's only signed for $300 million contract. Like,
well, think about it. JT, he's up next season and he's gonna get more.
He's getting like 314. They're saying.
So I have this other question that I wanted to ask y'all. Because speaking of next year deal, I thought it was JT was like, I thought it was projected to be like 330 something.
That's what I thought.
But here's another kicker, because I've seen those rookie extensions, And you got guys like Jalen Green, Kate Cunningham, Evan Mobley. You have those guys that are going to be due for it's crazy extension. That max extension is going to be damn near. If it's this year it was 250, it's going to go up. It's going to be 275, 280.
For Evan Mobley.
How much is it to be a ball boy in the NBA? They need to be ball boys,
bro. Yo, if they would give Evan Mobley, like what have they done in the league?
Right.
The market. It's simply the market. But
I'm just saying they just. I mean, you just get paid the max just cause.
Yeah, because it's the market. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that. Like at least even back in the day, like that's why I knew that Jaylen Brown was going to take his money because he took a below the market deal. Like his extension off his rookie contract was like 106 and had incentives. 106 and had incentives to get higher. So
you had niggas saying I was overpaid.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had so
Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
They've been counting JB's pockets.
Hey, this dude that made $500 million. That's crazy.
Damn. Let him live.
I
heard a quote. He was trying to create a Black Wall Street or some shit in Boston. Something like that.
Yeah, he's on that. He's on
he's
that.
A thinker
I give JB the off the court stuff. I give him that.
Thinker like that.
He partnered with an MIT program recently that like supports high school students of color. So like
that's where he was at.
He's all about the community. Like I give him that. He's a good character guy, and so I'll take if it is overpay, I'll take overpaying for a character guy in the locker room versus like we don't need to dive into it, but the Ja Morants of this world, like I'll take a JB any day of the week over that.
Is there any update on Ja? Is he still out there thugging, or is he?
He's still out there thugging.
No, he's suspended, right? They sat him down.
He's suspended 25 games, I think, right?
Okay, yeah, he got his. Okay,
he's still out there thugging.
We won't be hearing from Ja for a little bit for the near future.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully.
Okay, all right. So you want to talk about the Dame?
Yeah, how y'all feel about NBA? Like, and so for the viewers, for those listening, it's like just context, and y'all can add to it. But Dame pretty much like everyone knows he's been requesting a trade. He wants to pursue a championship. It seems like they're not trying to go all out for a championship in Portland. They chose to draft a guard in this year's draft with the number 3 pick instead of trading that pick to get him a piece to go on a run. And like, because he's been such a loyal superstar, he's in line to get that James Harden KD treatment. And he's kind of cashing that check by basically saying he doesn't want to go anywhere but Miami. And his agent told teams like he's going to Miami, period. And the NBA sent a notice to 30 teams saying, hey, if other players act like this, or if Dame continues to do this, there will be disciplinary action. Like, we can't be saying we're not going to play contracts and not commit to a team that trades for you. So what are y'all thoughts on all that?
Does he have a no trade?
No, he doesn't. No. That's the NBA's
why is he saying that?
Because he's a superstar, and that's what these guys do. These guys show up to work with mental health issues and miss 3 seasons and collect $150 million.
Anyone in particular you're talking about?
Like, these dudes get completely spoiled, and it's kind of getting wild now.
Right. Well, I know Bradley Beal had a no trade, so it made sense that he was like, dictating where he wanted to go, but like, guys that don't have a no trade clause, like it just seems strange. Usually they'll like have like a list of teams, like 4 teams. Hey, I don't want to play here no more. Send me to one of these teams. When you don't have a no trade and you have a contract with years left and you demanded to go to one specific team, nobody else, literally like putting your team in a bind, like I don't know where Dame is coming from, and his reputation is supposed to be Mr. Loyal. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, like now he's doing all of this in this way, in this fashion. like at least like give some wiggle room for the team to like, you know, because right now Miami can just sit back and be like Portland blank. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of in terms of a negotiation tactic to get to where you want to go. I don't know why, you know, Dame would come out and like, you know, kind of just put all his eggs in one basket, kind of like
Strong
that,
arm the
put
league.
his team, you know, at a disadvantage trade wise.
What are you thinking, Rick?
So it happened before. I want to say that the NBA fined, I think Rich Paul, with the Anthony Davis,
Yeah.
Anthony Davis. I think it was around like 50K. The problem is that Dame has been on social media. He's active on social media. Not once has he said, no, that's not true. GM, I mean, like the is running around telling teams he's not going to play for you, and that's where the issue is coming from. Because now you're operating in bad faith. Because at the end of the day, that's why it's called free agency. I mean, it's kind of give and take. You're free to go wherever you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But once you sign that deal, you're basically putting it in the hands of the team where you kind of lose some of that power. And that's why, that's why you even look at like, someone like even since day one, the first time he got his extension, LeBron has been smart as far as in his player empowerment is because he never was in a situation where he had to force the team to trade him, where he would sit there and say, I'll sign a 2-year extension or something, but I'm not going to lock myself into something that's going to be long-term where, the team can get lax. There's always going to be that threat of me leaving. So they're going to have to force and listen to me because I can opt out the contract and guess what? You'll get nothing from me and then you'll lose me. So I think that he was smart in that aspect where someone like Dame is like, yo, you kept signing extensions. You wanted to get paid. And the way that the CBA was designed is for your drafted team, your homegrown team, for you to offer you the most so you don't leave. Like LeBron and them left, Bosh and LeBron left. And, that's the summer of 2011. Like they want to correct that. They didn't want the movement to be like that. So they said, you know what, your homegrown team is going to be able to pay you the most. So it's kind of a shot in the face of that is because if I can sit there and say, I'm going to get the biggest bag and then
leave.
and then 2 years later or a year later, I want to trade. I don't have a no trade clause, but who cares? Let me trade and then also trade me to this one place. And then my agent's gonna act in bad faith and tell other teams, oh, by the way, if you trade for him, he's not gonna report, or you're gonna have an unhappy camp. And you're kind of operating bad faith.
That's the thing that I don't get. Like, okay, you want to get traded and all that. At least work with Portland. Like, don't come out and say anything. If anything, like
like let them know, but you don't gotta let
you
the
feel
market
me, like
know.
because at least Portland can do it. It's a negotiation for you, bro. Like now Portland can go to Miami and be like, "Yo, we could trade him to this team, that team. Like, what you got, man? What up? You know what I mean? We don't care."
It feels like a FU to Portland because they didn't put the effort into him. But now the organization, or in his defense, the organization didn't support him the way he feels he supported them. Like they didn't give him a squad to make a run. So he's probably like, yo, I'm 33. I'm at the end of reaching the end of my prime. Like I want this chip. Like y'all ain't got my back. All right, screw y'all too.
How much money has Dame Lillard made in his career? I guarantee you he has not been underpaid in his career in Portland. No. They paid him handsomely. You know what I'm saying? In terms of talent, bro, we draft just like any other team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we missed on some draft picks, but dude, you got to go out there and ball. You know what I mean? Like
Portland too. Nobody's like lining up to
play.
He'll have earned $450 million through the expiration of his contract in 2027. Half a bill, basically.
If I'm Portland, I'm like, bro, damn near half a man. You're good, bro. I paid you, man. We haven't won nothing. We had some nice playoff moments, you know. I don't mind Dame not wanting to be there and wanting to pursue a championship.
So
It
yeah.
just seems like just be a little bit smarter with your
So
your strategy
I
about
got a
this.
question for y'all now. You brought something up that made me think of something, TG, because like I was seeing on Players' Choice people discussing Dame and them saying he's one guy, Mars, saying like he's really not that clutch. He's not a clutch player. And everybody's like, "What? You see his playoff run? Da 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 da." He's like, "Yeah, but he only does it in the first."
Wait, hold up. My bad to cut
Yeah,
you off.
yeah.
His extension doesn't kick in until 25, 26 that he signed. That, or am I reading this incorrectly? I see.
Yeah,
I
he would
see.
be a free agent in 25, so I think that's right. From what I'm seeing, if that's how it works.
So any team that he's traded to is absorbing that.
Wait, so Dame basically has 2 years left on his contract.
On his current deal, and then it says 25, 26 estimate 58 million, 26, 27, 63 million.
Wait,
Player.
what?
Yeah, I don't player option, but
Yep.
So
That's
what
the
is Dame's
extension.
current
Yeah,
contract?
that's
It's
right.
like
That
how
sounds
big?
right, D. That sounds right.
he's
That's
locked
crazy.
in because he's damn sure exercising that fucking 63 million. Like that's
So Dame is
Right.
basically on like a 5-year deal right now or something.
4
4-year deal.
But
essentially.
the
Yeah,
last two are player options.
And how old is he? 33. So like, damn, if you're trading for Dame, you're literally like, all right, you're
Yeah.
keeping him the rest of his twilight of his career and paying him very well. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like
through 37. I don't know if he's gonna be playing like LeBron,
No,
eating father time.
the miniature guard, but nah. Go.
I
What
mean,
was
he's a
he?
shooter.
That's a good point, D. Thanks for bringing that up, because it makes you think about kind of how the contracts actually pan out. But yeah, I was asking like, do y'all agree or disagree about the level of clutchness Dame has? There's been times I went back and forth, even on this pod with Rick and D, saying like Dame would win chips if he was on, the Warriors teams in place of Curry. But when you really break it down and see like he doesn't have those killer buzzer beaters outside of the first round, it makes me think like, damn, maybe he's not as crazy clutch. When it comes to the Western Conference Finals and CJ McCollum is the best player all of a sudden. But yeah, what do y'all think?
I think he's clutch. I mean, I feel like he's earned that uh stigma or whatever you want to call it. I just think where with him is that I don't think he can be a number one. Like he's small, he's not gonna take you to the promise. He could be an amazing number two, I think, but I don't think he can. Like you need a wing. You need like a wing to like go get me a bucket. Like he's a smaller point guard.
who would be the number one in Miami? Wouldn't he be the number
They,
one?
I don't know. I think they'd have two 1As, right?
Like, yeah, I mean,
I think he's better than Jimmy Butler.
I don't
You're
know.
basically saying that team wouldn't work, then that team would be a bust because he's better than Jimmy Butler.
Nah, I go. What you think, D? Yeah.
Better
He's
here's
a
in
the
better
issue.
player than Jimmy Butler. He's a better
Here's the issue
player.
that I have. Here's the issue that I have is that you may find yourself getting an older Jimmy Butler and that version of him on the Sixers because he didn't have the ball in his hand a lot.
I mean, that was a good version though. Like if Kawhi doesn't hit that crazy 6 bounce around the rim 3 in the corner, like we might be looking at that Sixers team differently. But
that was a younger Jimmy Butler too. The Sixers were the ones that were cooked for letting him walk and freaking paying Tobias Harris. Like they should have definitely kept that Jimmy Butler. But
I think
love
that it
Jimmy
was an
Butler.
issue.
I just think Dame is a better player.
But I think the issue though is that how effective can Jimmy Butler be when he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as he does? now, because now you're gonna take the ball out of his hands if you had a Dame.
I think it'll help Jimmy just through the stretch of the playoffs in total. Cause like when they started to show the difference between the minutes just in the playoffs between like him and a Jamal Murray, it was just like he has so much more wear and tear. And so having a Dame there to kind of, balance some of that out through the earlier rounds, I think will help. But I would love to see Dame in Miami if they can get the deal done. Personally, I think like that would be such an ill underdog team. You got the undersized guard, you got Jimmy buckets. Like you probably gonna have some, G League dudes in the mix somehow, some way. Knowing Miami, shout out Udonis Haslem, he just retired. But yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be concerned at all if they got. As a Celtics fan, I definitely wouldn't be concerned.
Wow.
Can we stop the underdog? Can we stop this underdog, conversation when it comes to guys like Jimmy Butler, because that moniker gives him a pass. That he goes to the finals and has a blunder, and it's like, oh, they were an underdog. They weren't supposed to be here, and
He's
it's
an
like
overachiever.
I mean, he's a 32nd round. He's a 32nd pick in the draft. He averaged
30th pick in the first
last
round.
pick. My bad, not NFL, NBA, right? Last pick of the first round.
No,
averaged 2 points.
and that's fine. And that's fine. Right. At what point do we start have expectation for players? At what point do we sit there and say, all right, that player isn't, just like like you made it. You know what I'm saying? Like you made it. And it's like, and then it's just like the conversation. Okay, Dell brought up Jaylen Brown to Game 7. Jimmy Butler. Oh my gosh, he overachieved. He's not supposed to be here. Oh, let's blinders on. I didn't see that, but we're gonna talk about him overachieving. That's where I'm just like, let's like, if Dame was to go to the Heat, they better be championship contenders. And if they lose in the first or second round, they better get flack for it, because there's no overachievement. Like, you got bona fide all-star, all NBA players.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what do you guys think about, we had a couple other topics. We kind of shifted from the Dame thing to, unless anybody else has anything to share. I was gonna go to the like training camp updates, because there's been a lot of NFL training camp updates. Injury to Joe Burrow, Jalen Ramsey, trade requests from Jonathan Taylor, Zeke working out with the Pats. What's y'all thoughts on all the action in NFL right now?
I'm just hoping Joe Burrow's good. I mean, if Joe Burrow's, if he's out, what is it, a calf, right? It looked like an Achilles to me from that video, but if he's out an extended period of time, I think that really impacts the NFL landscape. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Joe Burrow, man.
He just signed a quarterback, but who's the backup?
I mean, look at it.
No idea. Who's the backup on the Bengals? That's a good question.
I'm looking that up right now.
The fans don't even know who he is.
Trevor Simeon.
Oh God!
Ew!
No
way. I mean, y'all fuck. Come on,
he destroys that entire organization.
Come on, y'all. Y'all know he's a staple backup.
This man is trash.
Oh my goodness.
That's the contingency. That's the contingency.
I mean, he signed a 1-year deal.
Burrow.
Hey,
Trevor Simeon. That's the contingency plan.
And then Jake Browning. I don't know who Jake Browning is, but Jake Browning is behind Simeon. So
a nigga that's been notoriously injured in his career. That's the backup.
So
anyway,
I'll go like this. Speaking of like Joe Burrow, it ties into everything. That same day Brown got his contract extension with the Celtics, Justin Herbert got a was it 235 or something?
260?
250 something. I think it was like 250. Yeah, I'd look it up.
5-year deal. So, he signed his deal, and that's on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Joe Burrow gets hurt on Thursday. If I'm Joe Burrow, I'm not stepping on the court. I mean, I'm not stepping on that field again until I get a contract. I already got the ACL. You know, his rookie season. I need a new deal as well. It kind of like the players who are in those predicaments is like even someone like Tua who probably should protect himself, but I'm not sure that the Dolphins are actually like 100% sold on him to even give him whatever $200 million or anything like that. Just
they broke him, dude. That's a broken quarterback right there. He's literally one hit and his career is done. Like
that's why, and that's another reason why he's like the Dolphins hold all weight, and it's kind of contrasting with both sports is where like the NBA. You wasn't on the call with us, but we were talking about like NFL management is much more stronger than let's say NBA. The NBA, a player requests a trade, oh my gosh, we're gonna trade him. The NFL will sit there and look at you like it's a duel at 7 p.m. whatever it is, sundown. Duel, and it's like, all right, make your move because you ain't going nowhere. Like, all right, cool. Like, all right.
I request $1 billion.
So Herbert was a 5-year, $262.5 million, averaging 52.5 million. I think Rick brings up a good topic, but I'll throw this in. My thoughts on the whole should Joe Burrow sit thing? Hell no, he shouldn't sit. I think it'd be different if he was a running back or another position that's more physical. Like QBs actually get paid. That's the one position in the NFL, one of the few positions I say you could check the box, you're gonna get paid. And you're the leader of the team that has a championship window right now. I personally think if he can come back, like you come back, you make a run, you get through the Chiefs or something, while like it's only gonna add to that mystique. He's already got a lot of swag, mystique, whatever. I personally think he should come back. I think he's getting paid either way. Even if he has a bad year, I think he has enough cachet to earn that bag. Maybe it dents it a little, but like I think QBs aren't as vulnerable to need to sit out as other positions. But that's my thoughts on it.
I mean, for what is it? 270? 5 years, 270. You might have to probably just secure that bag and then, trot back out there. You don't want to do anything to kind of,
Yo, if he's out for a couple of weeks, I feel like him and Herbert was jostling for, who's going to get paid. And I feel those are like, now it should, I feel like on both sides, it should, as far as in, let's get a deal done now, opposed to just waiting.
Herbert should be Joe Burrow's floor for sure, because he's done way more than Herbert. Like he's 3-1 versus Patty Mahomes. Like, come on, y'all.
Also, I think that the problem with the contract situation is every year it seems like the next quarterback that gets paid gets, even if he's not better, he gets more the year, per year. Because now look at it, Pat Mahomes has signed that deal stupidly, what was it, 10 years or 12 years or whatever.
10 year, $500 million, yeah.
And it was just like, it looked good, but from the outside of it, it's like
underpaid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like in 10 years to be making 50 mil, dude's gonna be making like 90 mil like QB.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like if he was 5 years, if he like
how high could they run it up the annual salary? For a QB. I mean, it's already at 52 right now. Like, how high
it used to be, bro. I'm saying, it's not far-fetched. When Brady was getting paid, they were 15, 17 million, and that was a lot. Then
Brady did always go under market, though.
Nah, there was one time he got paid premium.
Like what, the 25 million season? Like when?
There was the around.
You got to think about it.
Right. 10 years ago, around when he won his second MVP. When he won his second MVP, he got
by New England. He paid him.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yes. Yeah. There was a point in time he was the highest paid QB.
That was probably a
I
year
mean,
or two.
but no, but with that being said, though, that like of course, I like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the cap for the quarterbacks were lower, way lower, and then all of a sudden now they're at 50 something. Like, yeah, they're gonna be at 90 soon. And someone like obviously someone like Pat Mahomes will rework his contract.
Yeah, I'm about to say
But
he's gonna restructure that shit.
I mean, not restructure. Restructure means you going down.
Rework. So yeah, whatever. They're gonna they'll do whatever, they'll do anything he wants, anything he
Yeah.
asks, they'll do it.
Because and then when you start to look at the injury as far as with Jalen Ramsey that hurt, that hurts the Dolphins defense. Because you traded and you thought you were going to get an actual piece, and now he's gone till December. Like he's going to miss basically all your season, except maybe 4 games.
And who's to say he's gonna come back 100%?
Exactly.
Hopefully that's a good enough runway for him to get in like good shape for the playoffs. Like that's the good news.
Are they going to be in the playoffs? Okay. Can we say that?
Right.
Can we say that?
I mean,
I think they got a better chance than the Pats. I don't know if we want to go there.
I'm high on the Dolphins this year, yo.
I don't know
honestly.
if we want to go there, but
yeah, I don't know, man. Like, hopefully
what are the
Tyreek
Pats
doesn't get
doing?
suspended.
What did the Pats do this offseason? Like what?
Pats, you said?
Yeah, what did they have any major? Like I know they tried to get D-Hop. Like what have they
They
done?
didn't do anything this offseason.
And it's frustrating.
We signed a coach.
As a former Pats fan who used to believe in Belichick and think like he was GOAT, like, come on, man. I'm going to team Andy Reid for the GOAT coach conversation, but it's just like it goes back to a combo we've been saying all podcasts. You need to give this dude a skilled wide receiver. Like, help out your young QB. What are you doing? You have D-Hop in the building. Sign him. You're arguably getting him for a deal anyway because he's coming off of injuries. Like, what are y'all doing? I don't know.
I don't know. They probably saw something they didn't like. Who knows? I don't know, man.
The problem is I feel like you have a coach who, especially on for the offensive side of, whatever operation is that you leave a lot to be desired. You don't got plays that can separate. It looks like you may have made another miss when you took Tyquan Thornton over George Pickens. The best move that they made was, if you're talking about on the field, will be their first round draft pick, which was Christian Gonzalez. That looks like their best move that from Oregon. So that looks like their best move if you're talking about players on the field. It's gonna be you as a fan, when training camp starts, some fans are realistic, some fans are hopeful. And week 1 comes and it brings you back down to reality. So I just think that I don't know, like this you can definitively say that, like, on paper they are the 4th best team in the AFC East, and the playoff race will be daunting, especially they have a tougher schedule than they had last year.
But that's the thing though, Rick. You brought up a great, like, the Jets just got Aaron Rodgers. Like, Dolphins are getting rent. Other teams, like the Bills, are already upper echelon. Other teams are continuing to improve. Like Von Miller's coming back for the Bills. They gave him that deal. So it's like you got to keep up with your division. You ain't even looking at the wild card right now, the way everything's probably gonna play out for them. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't got no real expectations for the Pats. I think a 8-9 or 9-8 would be great. I think that would be a great outcome.
Kind of disappointing, yo. After that promising rookie season, I don't know why Bill thought that last season could have worked. I don't know what he was thinking. but he completely set our organization back like I don't know how many years.
I
Because
mean, if y'all want to even go that far, I mean, Bill needs to go. Like,
Dang.
I'm trying to get into that deep of a discussion. Like, Bill, you're done. Like, I
I
think
mean,
it,
look at the damage he did to Mac Jones. I feel like is Mac gonna survive? Like, is he gonna come back from this? Like,
So
salvage his career?
so I look at it like this. I look at it like I'm not sure Bill Belichick wanted to draft Mac. I think that it was more so the ownership came in and forced it on him. I think Bill was fine with running out there with Cam Newton again.
Damn, really? Bro, Cam threw 10 touchdown passes, bro. Like his year with us, he threw 10 touchdown passes.
No, he did not.
He did well against the Seahawks, though. But
he threw 7 touchdowns. He had 7 touchdowns and 9 picks. Yes. He had 7 touchdowns.
9.
But he ran for 12. He ran for 12, which is whatever. But like, damn. He really only threw for 7 touchdown passes all year.
He ran for 12.
I think he ran for. He had 12.
He had a lot on the ground.
I didn't know it was only 7. That's
bro.
wild.
It was
whatever it was. I know it wasn't up to 10. So like it was
8 touchdowns and 10 picks in 15 games for the Pats. Passer rating of about 83, threw for 2,600 yards.
Passer rating doesn't make sense.
I mean, that's a low passer rating because passer rating is out of like 168 or something like that, 0.3 or something random. So that's not a good passer rating.
Yeah. So with that being said, I just looked at it and people can sit there and say, "Oh, he's trying to add to the wide receiver position." It's like, yeah, he's not adding great players to wide receiver position. When you start to really look at like younger quarterbacks where Joe Burrow's going to the Bengals and they already have T. Higgins coming in with him. They already have Boyd, and then they add a Jamar Chase. You look at the Dolphins, they add Waddle and Hill. Even with Pat Mahomes, when he first came in, people forget like they had Hill already and Kelsey, but then they also added Sammy Watkins.
Right. I mean, just look at the AFC West and their battle to like stay on top. You got, I mean, I respect everything Denver's doing. Like you had a bad season last year with Russell Wilson, but now you bring in Sean Payton. Obviously the Chargers are always like right on the heels of the freaking Chiefs. Who else is in that division? Who's the other team?
Raiders.
Like, I mean, granted, they had a little bit of up and down last year, but who did they have? Devontae Adams. Like they're all trying to make moves to get over the hump in that division. That's real competition.
I mean, the Pats had 1 year where they spent a lot of money. They just spent it on the wrong players,
Besides Judon.
Well, Judon was a hit, and then now they don't want to pay him after he actually balled and performed for you,
30 next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last 2
in the last 2 seasons.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So what else? We talked about the injuries. Would y'all like to see Zeke in New England? Or like what do y'all think of that?
I don't think much of it. I just he's been great shape.
That would be such a New England signing too.
Yo, why y'all have a stale face?
Like such a random move. Like,
I mean, Cook. I was definitely intrigued by Cook, but that doesn't seem like that's gonna happen.
You're gonna have to pay him. You're gonna have to the Jets about to pay him. Like,
they're about to pay him. But he's there. He's there.
Well, whatever pay him means in this current running back market. Like, what is it? 8 million?
I mean, 11, 12, but like, damn,
11, 12.
They get Cook. I mean, he'll be like one of the highest paid if he makes.
They don't have that much money.
I don't think he's gonna get 11, 12. I was thinking more like 8, but still.
I'm thinking 5 million and maybe incentives to get to 8.
That
I
he
don't
You
won't.
think
think.
he
That he
waited
won't.
all this long for 5 million? I don't think he
Bro,
waited this long for 5 million.
I mean,
He's a running back, man. He
For that, he would have just signed with the Dolphins, I think. Like,
I mean, I think it's a
Trying to
situation
win.
where, not even just trying to win. I think that he's trying to find it. He's trying to put himself in a position where, like, he's trying to go to New York. You know, he really want to go to the Dolphins. He want to go to New York and sit there and say, "Yo, this is the table. This is what the Dolphins got on the table. Beat this." And if they do, it's like, "Hey, Miami, this is what the Jets are offering." Like he trying to drum up interest because let's be real, he's a running back, and it's the training camp already started. It's like how much, and a lot of these teams, you know, money's kind of dried up. So it's like, how much can he get? It's not like he's on the open market where like it's free, where everybody's ready to spend big money.
Yeah.
I mean, but if the Jets get him the Pats, I mean, you might as well fold the tent before you even kick off the football to start the season. Like,
I mean, injuries happen. So injuries happen. So I can't sit there. I can't, I can't do that. And we also seen
when have you ever said that as a Pats fan? Injuries could happen. Guys might go out. We might string something up. Like, this is New England, bro. There's a standard. Like, this is crazy. In 2 years, that's what it's come to, Rick. Like, I'm sorry.
No, but I'm saying like no, I understand that, but I'm just saying those are like we seen dream team like NFL, and it's like NFL roster building.
I don't think the Jets are gonna be this juggernaut that everyone is having them be. Like, I think they're gonna disappoint. I would, whatever the total is on their wins on Vegas, I would take the under.
So you don't think they were a QB away from making a playoff run last year, though?
they won 7 games.
I think
they were like 7-3 at one point.
I think they are the New York Jets. That's what I think.
Wow.
You can put as much lipstick on a pig as you want, but end of the day, it's still the
Lipstick on a pig, huh? I like it.
And to be honest, Aaron Rodgers, like, what does he got? What does he got left? Like what does he have? What does he have left? Last time we see him in the playoffs, fucking they put up how many points at home against the what was it, the Niners? I think they had
that's against the Niners. That's a good defense, like
it's Aaron Rodgers. Like what are they expecting him to come in and like lead them, or are they expecting him to come in and just not fuck it up? Like not
No.
be what is
he's supposed to be the Tom Brady he's supposed to be their Tom Brady.
He's supposed to be
they're the Bucks. They're Bucks.
All right. So I guess
that's their expectation. That's their expectation. That's and it's no excuses. They should get whatever. Like they built this team. They said, people say, oh, they were a QB away. And granted, schedules change, team changes, year to year. So last year was last year, this year is this year. And you got to go by them.
It's giving me like Russell Wilson vibes from last year. With the Broncos. And I'm not saying they're gonna be that bad. I'm definitely not saying
harsh. Damn.
I'm definitely not saying they're gonna be as bad as Denver was, but I don't see 9-8 wouldn't surprise me. Like 10-7.
But what if that's a wild card team?
That could be a wild card.
Yeah.
That could be good enough to get a wild card spot. So I mean, we'll see.
If everything pans out, what? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I like the running back they got, Paul. We'll see how he comes back from the injury.
Maybe they're looking to sign Dalvin Cook. That's not a good sign for Paul.
That's what I say. That's what I'm gonna say though. Is that does that take away?
That's a fair point. Definitely, wherever Cook goes, I'm probably wouldn't draft any of the running backs on that team.
Right.
And for your I didn't answer you fully, Dad, when you asked about Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will say that I'm not, obviously Ramondre Stevenson has to.
Right.
They need someone to spell him. Last year, he ran out of gas, and I mean, it's not a knock. Like he had like 69 catches. So you're talking about like over 1,000 yards on the ground. Um, I would want someone that can spell him. The thing with Zeke is that Zeke is durable. I don't think he's missed many games like the last 3 seasons. He can probably provide you a goal line back.
Right.
Also, he played a little bit of fullback with Dallas when they had Tony Pollard last year. So maybe you can go back into, because remember last year the Patriots took out the fullback position. He's a great pass protector.
Yeah, great blocker.
So, I mean, I'll look. I would, if it's someone to spell, because I got to be real. Ramondre needs a backup, and he needs somebody that's going to be dependable. I think that the Pats have interest in Cook. They're waiting to see possibly if he is going to leave New York without a deal. If that's the case, you can't. If you let him, if you bring him in for a visit, you can't let him leave without a deal. There's no that's it. There's no whatever. But I look at it. I mean, I have no issue with Zeke. It depends on how they're going to use him, but probably for the dollar amount, it'll probably make sense. I'm not expecting him to come in here and be a Russian champ or anything like that. And I understand that he lost a step. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm really looking at it like they need someone that's going to help Ramondre Stevenson, because they don't at this point. The players they drafted last year are unknown, really.
Those are good points. I didn't think about it that way. I think as a backup, Zeke is a really good fit when you put it that way.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he wasn't gonna come start.
Nah, Zeke is straight as a backup.
Situational. Yeah.
You thought he was starting?
Zeke is straight as a backup.
It's just hard to think of Zeke as it's hard to think of him as a back. You know what I mean? He's been a star for his whole career. So, but yeah, he'd be a backup at this point.
Surprised Dallas doesn't re-sign him back, honestly. But for the Patriots, our needs go far more than backup running back. I think we have way more needs than that. But rebuilding the confidence of our starting quarterback, that's a huge, that's a huge ask for this season. But
it's starting to look like you're gonna need a stud QB in the AFC East. You talking about Tua, Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers, and we got Mac Jones. You got Mac Jones. It's like the landscape has changed drastically, it seems, in the AFC East.
I mean, you still also look at it pass catchers. You look at what each team has.
We've needed it for years. Explosiveness.
Yeah,
we don't have that person that lines up on the field and everybody's like, oh shit, he needs to be accounted for at all times. We don't have that. We got a bunch of 4 or 5 wide receivers, 4 or 6 sometimes.
And it also too though is that we got receivers where they can line up wherever and the defense doesn't need to change formation.
Right.
The number one corner doesn't have to say, oh yeah, I gotta go over here because he's over here. It's I can play here because my 2 or 3 can beat them. That's where it is. We don't really have a fear factor.
Yeah.
I will say that, I remember we mentioned Jonathan Taylor with the trade request, and the owners were like, hey, whatever, fine, cool. You want to get traded? Yeah, that's nice.
So, but on that, the Colts say that's nice, and they don't do anything. The dude's 24 years old. He can afford to sit out a whole year. You know what I'm saying? Get rest up. So the Colts literally just don't blink. They're gonna do something. They're not gonna have the best running back in the NFL just sitting at home the entire season. They're gonna do something after if they find him or whatever. Let's say he doesn't give a damn. He's taking all the fines. You're gonna get rid of that player at a certain point. You know what I mean? He has value. Somebody's gonna call you for Jonathan Taylor. They're gonna get calls. If he's not in week 1, week 2, week 3, yeah, their phone's gonna start ringing. You're not gonna pick up the phone. You know, like that whole big bad NFL thing. It's like when players really start like withholding their services, like
what did the
look
what did
look
the
at the
Steelers
Steelers.
do?
They lost Le'Veon Bell. They did lose him. I
Yeah,
mean, they
they were
gained.
fine with. They were fine with it. I mean, that
No,
kind
but
of
you
goes
lose the
counter to
player.
your point.
But you lose
That
the player at the
goes.
end of the day, though. Like the whole
It
point is
goes.
like you still lose the
Counts.
player.
I would. Well, I'll say. Let me say my thing first. I would agree with you, TG, and I used to always kind of say the same thing to myself. Like, why don't these players just put the like, you know, what am I trying to say? As far
Throw
as
a pair and just fucking sit out.
put the owners to the test. But I just feel like there's so many dudes waiting in the ranks that are just itching for that opportunity.
Right.
That you know that's the only thing. Like there's some like niggas is hungry and got
Austin Ecklers. It's these Austin Ecklers out there messing it up for dudes.
Yeah,
motherfuckers got families to feed and shit. So like you know what I mean? That so
yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I'll say to the counterpoint as far as in the what D, you know, it happened. The Le'Veon Bell sat out for the season, and the Steelers were like, okay, sit out, all right, and they didn't miss him, and you know he went on to, you know, signing a deal with the Jets, and the Steelers kind of were probably giving him the deal that he didn't want, and he sat out, and he looked like he lost a step. He wasn't the same player. He wasn't the same guy. So I would look at, you know, the Colts are looking at it saying, okay, you sit out. I'm not even sure he accrues a season. I think you may have to play a certain amount of games, you know, especially if you sit out or whatever the case is, that I don't know if he'll be rewarded his 4th year. And even if he is, they'll just franchise tag him.
I mean, that's true. Like, but all I'm saying is you still lose the player, like with the Steelers. Just trade him. Even if you get a 7th round pick, like you lost him, he walked for nothing. Like, I'm not saying, yeah, you made it out fine and you don't care and whatnot, but literally you got nothing for who was one of the best running backs in the NFL. Like, my whole point is like, you guys are all playing big, bad, blah, blah, blah. The minute a guy doesn't want to be on your team, get something for him. Why? Okay, let him go sit at home, and then
I would say this.
And then you lose a year, and he loses a step, and you lose it for nothing. Okay, great, all right, awesome. I'm like, bro, like, let me just get something for one of the best running backs in the league. Yeah, I played myself because I you know, upset him, and he doesn't want to play for me no more. Let me get some for him, whatever it is, and then all right, like that's all. I'm not saying like the NFL will keep churning. Like there will never be.
But okay, in the Colts case, they should just fold and trade him, or should they just call his bluff?
If it's me, I just say I pick up the phone. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm just going to send him out for peanuts, but like I pick up the phone. Like, okay, so to me, I'm like, what good does it do me having Jonathan Taylor at home on his couch while I'm finding my best player? I just don't see what I'm gaining from that as a business. I'm not saying
because he's not going to sit out next year. He's going to sit out 2 years in a row. I franchise tag you. Oh yeah, I'm paying you $10 million. I upped up your yearly rate. He's going to sit out again.
But Le'Veon Bell sat out. He said, fuck it. He sat out.
No, he's going to sit out 2 seasons in a row. Is he going to sit out 2 years in a row if they franchise tag him?
So Rick, dude, like that's I mean, that's never happened in history. Like,
so that's what the Colts are probably saying too. Like you're not going to sit out 2 years in a row.
But my question, I think going along with TG's point, this is my question.
Why go into that with your best player? Like,
what about right? Exactly. So,
like, for your locker room, like, what's the benefit? Like,
right? No one sat out 2 years, but then what does that say about like? Dudes are still hungry, we get it, but what does that say about your organization if you just gonna let him sit? If you put him in a position to even consider sitting out 2 years, you know what I mean? Do you think that impacts free agency and guys? There, or do you think
it's Indianapolis, but I mean, at the end of the day, players gonna have to pay him. Here's $100 million. Nah, I'm gonna go pay for 80 million. Because I didn't like the way that you guys handled that whole Jonathan Taylor's. My moral. What, I'm just gonna take just for my morals. I'm gonna take 20 million less somewhere else.
Wow.
Fuck out of here. I ain't worried about that. Ain't worried about players. They're not gonna sit there like, that player may have an issue with the team, and he may have a grudge 20 years from now, and whatever team he plays for, Jonathan Taylor, remember he has this. I don't think I remember that as cool or whatever. Like he may have an issue, but like other players, you think some ninth grade running back is worried about how they treat Jonathan Taylor?
Bro,
I mean,
he's just trying to make it to the league, right?
Yeah,
True.
So that's kind of just like my idea.
But I guarantee free agent running backs aren't going to be lining up to go sign with the Colts. I mean, I'm sure some guys will if they.
Is it going to be counterproductive if the Colts is paying them? You can't cry on not getting paid. Then all of a sudden say, "I treated Jonathan Taylor kind of."
I mean, the one thing the Colts do have is that Jonathan Taylor is under his rookie deal still, and he's what is he in his third year or whatever it is, right?
He's going into his fourth year. He's going into he's going into his fourth year.
He's going into his fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have that one last year or whatever, but I mean, you could be like, yeah, just play out your contract, kind of like what the Chargers said to Austin Eckler, just play out your contract, and they give him an extra, 1 point, whatever. I mean, you could do that if you want to try to make your best player feel okay. But I guess a lot of these teams don't give a shit how their employees feel. Like, I mean, look at what the Giants did to Saquon. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, dude, Saquon's literally playing for a franchise tag. Like, it goes in as a new deal, but it's literally a franchise tag if the Giants don't make the playoffs this year. And then next season, he can get tagged again. Like, I just feel like, why treat your best player like that? I don't see, God forbid if Saquon goes out there and gets hurt this year, dude, that'd be like the morale of the entire team will be devastated. Because they know you fucked him, and then he goes out and gets hurt. It's just like, whatever. Those are teams that haven't even made it into the deep playoff runs. Like, the running back position really doesn't matter like that. So maybe they are right. Tell you the truth, like you just got to get a quarterback.
Maybe
they are right because we talk about all these teams, and I'm like, none of these teams have made deep postseason runs anyway. So fuck being the running back, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's right. It's working out.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a billionaire owner, you'd be like, dude, I haven't made the postseason.
I would be trying to get an Isaiah Pacheco. I know that much. That's what you want. Like, and there's plenty of dudes that'll take that deal, come in like undrafted, late draft round picks. Like, honestly, we shun that deal, but there's a lot. Would you sign up for that deal for me? 80,000 guarantee. Yeah, the average Joe is probably gonna want that deal, but
right.
I don't know.
Like when you think about the individual running back, like you put yourself in their shoes and what they're going through. It's like, dude, come on. But I guess when you think about it from the big picture, like as like a NFL owner or a billionaire, yeah, you're looking at it like, all right, when you really look at it, like any team with like a top running back, like how do those teams perform? Like, does it really matter if you have an ill running back? Like,
just like, and I was like, telling Dell, earlier this week, look at Danielle Hunter wanted, I think he had a base salary of like $4 million this year. Wanted more money. They were going to trade him. Then all of a sudden they agreed to a 1 year, $17 million, reworking his contract. Thinking he can get up to, he has at least 17 million guaranteed, and he can get up to 20.
Said Danielle Hunter?
Teams are going to bend.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Teams are going to bend for, other positions, especially positions of value. I just don't think that they will do it for running back.
Right.
I think they look at the running back and they say, nah, we can replace you, or we can get somewhat similar to your production. And what's the, what use are you? Why should I pay you, 12 million plus? Why should I do that? And I want
Every
to say
other
that
position can hold out except running back. Like right now, the dude from San Fran, the Bosa dude,
yes,
whatever Bosa,
Joey
Nick
Bosa?
Bosa.
Oh,
Nick,
No,
Nick,
the other one.
That's Nick.
Nick.
Yeah, Nick Bosa, him. Yeah, he's holding out right now because he's on the last
He
year of
is?
his rookie deal. Yeah, he's holding out
Mhm.
right now because he wants a new deal. But like, what's gonna happen is, I guarantee you, he's gonna be the highest paid defensive player. You're gonna hear that get announced
Yeah.
by the regular season. Like, so those guys get, you know, rewarded for honestly kind of being, selfish and holding out and doing all that. But other positions, it's kind of like, you know, nah.
And
But
I can somewhat replace Jonathan Taylor's production. I'm not sure you can replace Nick Bosa.
Wow, this dude is holding out. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
in Nick Bosa's case, I would agree because he's a beast. Like, that dude is unreal.
Damn.
Same thing with Chris Jones. Same thing with Chris Jones.
Wow.
The Chris Jones one's an interesting one because the Chiefs actually are the team that has like an ill quarterback. You have that star quarterback. Like, how I want to see how much they really value that extra, like, because Chris Jones is ill, like a Aaron Donald type player. But are they gonna pay him, what is it, 30 million a year? Are you gonna really pay him 30 million a year? I want to see.
Damn.
That's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Is he sitting out? I don't know if he's holding out.
Yeah,
Or
I heard that.
He is right now, yeah.
he's holding out.
Yeah.
That's smart by him, honestly.
Wow.
See, in some positions, it's smart by the player to hold out, but then in other positions, it's like, bro, don't play yourself. Like, just wait. So what do y'all think? So y'all are saying basically for Saquon Barkley, so it was smart for him to take that deal, to just come in and take that basically franchise tag deal where he can get tagged again next season. It is basically smarter for him to do that as opposed to, and then he could literally blow out his knee this year. Honestly.
So more to the nail hunter, I forgot to add, he has a provision in his rework contract. He can't be tagged. I wish that someone like Saquon, he did that. Like, okay, I'm not signing a franchise tag. I'm signing, a provision. And maybe if, I don't know if that was on the table, maybe he took less, maybe he would have said, okay, I'll take even less, but I get to go in the market. You can't tag me. But he still, but to TG's point, he's still getting tagged. I think that he wants to play. I think that he looks at it and says, I'll play. I mean, you can't get a multi-year deal. And again, you have to sign a 1-year contract. So it's more so like, I'd rather get my $2 million up front opposed to the trade. I mean, the franchise tag. So he gets his $2 million up front. But the only thing I wish he just got a provision where he said, you can't tag me again. And I hope that Pollard and is Pollard sitting out, or is
no,
it Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs is sitting out right now, but Pollard signed his tag. What do you think about Josh Jacobs? Because he literally left Las Vegas. I think they say he like went back home or something, and he's
and
not.
They offered him 12. I think they offered him 12, and I'm not sure. I mean, I guess.
I would have taken that 12, man.
I think that they're looking at it like, we want to see you, again. I mean, you had, that one good, you had that one great season. I'm not going to sit there and pay you with the Christian McCaffreys of the world and stuff. And I feel it was that, like, I have a question. I had to pose that to D, like, as far as in like this, basically that bruising type of running back is, that is a thing of the past. Kind of like the back to the basket, like center.
Yeah.
If that's your main skill, you're gonna get paid not great. you're not going to get, you have to evolve with the game, just like, the centers had to, you have to play make, or you have to, shoot, and also even shoot the three for you to get some value at being a center and be, regarded as one of the best players in the league. For those at the running back position, you have to catch. You have to be a dynamic catcher, not just catch the ball. You have to be a dynamic catcher of the ball.
I mean, wouldn't you say Saquon fits those criterias or whatever? I mean, he does, but
I would say so.
I guess to kind of like put a bow on it, I just feel like going forward, this new running back, this new class, that came in this year with the dude from Atlanta, and then the kid out of Detroit. Those two kids have the best chance to really see if if their first couple seasons in the league go pretty good, they can be in a position to maybe try to reset the market. In the next couple years, we'll be closer to another CBA or whatever. That's another 10 years away. But if you think about it, but other than that, the current running backs right now, I don't see anything really changing for those current running backs that are on deals right now, or from those expiring deals. So
it's, I will say that with the Jonathan Taylor thing, it is very shocking. Like when, like I said, obviously players, see what's up. They do see it, but like I said, at the end of the day, money talks more than anything. But I will say that it is kind of like, the owner is, basically he's really just throwing more fire, on that running back talk, and basically just kind of taunting, the running back.
But
It's
Rick,
kinda
you would agree that Jonathan Taylor is their best player. He's the Colts' best player, right? That might not be saying much, but he's their best player.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on.
don't they have that the top corner from New England though?
He's old.
The top corner from New England?
Gilmore? He's in the Cowboys.
No,
He's
he's
on
on
the
the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
He's
Oh
on the
damn!
Cowboys.
What they got Gilmore in the Cowboys?
Yeah, Cowboys
Yeah,
got Gilmore.
Damn.
he's wearing 21.
Okay. Wow. He's wearing
He's like 21 on the Cowboys. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Taylor's their best player by far. Yeah.
What would you say, Rick? Right? He's probably their best player. So
he had a down last year. So, but with that being said, yes.
right. So it's if you're gonna talk like that about your best player, man, damn. It's a hard knock life for running backs.
Mhm.
Damn, Gilmore, Dallas is looking crazy on defense.
Yeah.
Damn.
And also I would say, because I had showed D earlier, you have Eckler, Barkley, Jacobs, Pollard, Hook. Those are the top running backs that looks to be on the market next year. Do you think that there's going to be enough money? Do you think there's going to be enough money to spread around to pay all for the all to get paid?
Damn, next year, running back free agency, because some of those backs are still pretty talented, pass catching too, that. That's interesting. I mean, if these guys stay healthy this year, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Any other
I want to see what that Cook deal comes in as. How much, is it a 1-year deal? How much does it come in at?
I feel like it's most likely 1 or 2 years.
No more than 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely no more than.
And I'm not sure he wants to sign for something more than a year.
More than 1 year, right?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, I don't think that, especially at this period of time, I don't think there's a great 1-year deal out there for him. I mean, I just look at it. I feel like the market, we were talking about the holdout stuff, and it just kind of like the way that Jim Irsay kind of came out and was just like, even when you have a play like Jonathan Taylor, it's like we don't have to do anything. We don't have to, do whatever X, Y, and Z. You'll pay either you'll play or we're gonna pay you what we want.
Yeah, he got the plantation mentality.
What?
He sound like it.
Ursay.
They
he
did
sound
say
like
they
it,
said
honestly.
they did say niggas release.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
He sounds like a dude that'll make that like, don't let the inmates run
Don't
on
let the
assignment
inmates run
comment.
the
Yeah, he would make that kind of comment. He sounds like one of
definitely
them type of dudes.
he would definitely say that. Don't let the prisoners run the assignment.
Yeah. He would
That's
definitely say some shit like that.
Yeah.
Man.
No, so they definitely. Like I said, it's definitely. Like I want to see the Cook deal. I also, I think that's what the Pats are waiting on. They're waiting on. Maybe they can swoop in if the Jets don't sign him. But
Bro, if we miss out on Cook, dude, this offseason has been a debacle. Like, we literally missed out on every hot free agent, literally. Like, we signed Gesicki, the tight end. That's our, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
and Juju.
Oh yeah, we did
Juju.
sign.
And his best seasons are playing. And his best seasons are playing. If he's not playing with Antonio Brown, he's playing with Travis Kelce. So
I mean,
that's
y'all
kinda-
signed a TikTok star. Good job.
Well, he's gonna be playing with Gesicki and fucking Devontae Parker, and
But that's all I got.
Yeah, that's damn. Jamar Chase is still going early in drafts, though. I'm not seeing at least in this mock I just started, but I know he's dropping in the BLS league for sure. Oh, but let's save that topic for another week because I know we could go ham on that. Plus I gotta run to church. But yeah, no, this was another
Oh, and they said that Zeke is still in town, so take that for his worth.
he's in New England.
Yeah, he's still
in
here.
town. He's been in town for the visit, so that's good that he's still in town.
No, usually, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's not like he got up and he left. There was photos of him, I think, and Matt eating down in the restaurant.
He's chilling. Okay.
So it looks like he may be sticking around. We'll see.
Damn, best of luck, man. Y'all need it.
We just need something, man. Any little juice we can get, yo. Just.
But all right, y'all. That was another good episode. We'll have more topics for y'all next week. Appreciate everybody dialing in. So till next time, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.